Hey guys, so sorry I'm late. I know that I said that I was going to be on here around 1 o'clock. It's now 1:12, and so I really apologize for being late. Real quick before I get started, I don't know if any of you guys are Friends fans, but I have been watching Friends since it was originally out and you'd have to wait every single week for the new episode. And my family has always loved it, and we always, send each other memes and things Friends related just because we love it so much, and we still find a lot of humor in it. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Ralph Lauren is launching a Friends capsule collection for the show's 25th anniversary. And so all of their shows are going to be Friends inspired, which is pretty cool, I think. So I'm pretty excited to kind of see what Ralph Lauren actually comes up with. And he basically said that they're going to do a Wear to Work line as a nod to one of the main characters, Rachel Green, who worked at Ralph Lauren for several seasons of the show. So I think that's pretty exciting. So if you are a Friend fan, please let me know. I think it's pretty exciting. So anyways, back to the main topic. Again, my name is Casey, and today's this is one of the episodes of Modern Life Live, and today's show is basically the 5 stages of home buying process, what to be prepared for when you're buying a house. A lot of people get really confused, so I just wanted to break it down into 5 simple steps. So the number 1 step is a realtor. You definitely need a realtor whenever you're looking at buying a home. Realtors are free to use for buyers. We do not cost you anything, and we save you a lot of trouble and a lot of hassle in trying to figure out and negotiate the entire process. We can actually help with the new construction side of things or the resale side of things, and we make sure that everything is on proper documents, proper paperwork, and you don't have to worry about a thing. We actually hold your hand basically and walk you through every single step. And I think that that's just invaluable to be able to do that and know that you could buy a house and have somebody help you through this entire process and it not cost you anything. Ultimately, the seller is the one who ends up paying us to help you and guide you through the entire process. And just like anything, you are allowed to use whoever you want. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and they said, I really wasn't sure how this whole entire process worked. I clicked on a link. I was on realtor.com, and I clicked on a link because I just wanted more information. And then some random person called me and was wanting to tell me about the house, and I don't know who this person was, and I don't know if I'm supposed to use them or if I can use you. And so just know that yes, you could use whoever you want. And I always encourage anybody to do their research. I often have sellers contact me and say, hey, we're interviewing a couple realtors. We want to see who's best fitted for us. And buyers, unfortunately, don't do that. And so I always highly encourage you to do your research, go online, stalk us, and see what we're all about. And look up our Facebook profiles, look up our Instagrams, look us up, look at wherever you want to go. I guess look at realtor.com and look up our reviews and see who you want to use, because you have that choice as a buyer. And so that is the number 1 step, is to find a realtor, and we will help you. The number 2 step is to get a lender. We, as realtors, have some preferred lenders that we all like to work with and that work really well with us. But just like a realtor, you could choose whoever you want. But I always try to give a list of 3 different lenders that you can use. So once you find your realtor, you get qualified. I actually don't show any houses to anybody until they're qualified, and there's a few reasons for this. One, a lot of people use their mortgage calculators online to see what a house is going to cost. So they say, okay, I want to spend $1,200 a month. So they do the math and they do the calculations, and they're like, great, I can buy a $300,000 home, which really that is not the case, because they're only taking into account principal and interest, those mortgage calculators, and they're very inaccurate. What you actually need to take into account is the insurance, the taxes, the PMI if there's any, depending on if you put 20% down or not. And so, or if you're going VA. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration. And if we go into a lender, that lender will help give you that information. So if you say, hi, lender, I want to spend $1,200 a month, what kind of house will that get me? And your credit score, your debt to income, and then obviously the taxes and insurance, all of those things play a factor, and they can kind of tell you exactly what, how much house you can buy for $1,200 based on you, because the type of loan that you get all makes a difference. Because if you're going a VA loan, you don't have to have money down, but if you're going first time home buyers or FHA or conventional, there's different things that will play a factor in how much you actually have to put down, which then again affects your payments. So first thing, get a realtor. Second step is us realtors will send you on over to a lender to get qualified, to figure out how much you actually can spend and how much you qualify for. So you're not out spinning your wheels and thinking that you only qualify for $150 when you really qualify for $200, or thinking that you qualify for a $300,000 house and you only qualify for $200. So it's very, very important. Number 3 is house hunting. This is the most favorite, exciting part. This is what people want to jump to very beginning without finding the realtor, without finding or going through the lender process. But the house hunting, after we set up a consultation and figure out exactly what you're looking for, kind of your qualities of what you want in a house, that's when we go out looking. And so it's one of the most exciting parts. It's officially here, like, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to go and look at a house. And sometimes the sellers require you to have a pre-qual letter to even enter their house. And that's why I always like to get everybody to the lender before we go out and look at houses. So sometimes you get to actually find the one. Sometimes it's one house. Sometimes we look at 30 houses, and it really just depends on you. But I think that the questions asked helps determine that, what you're actually looking for, and to try to alleviate looking at so many houses. Because in our market right now, it could change later, but our market, it's so fast paced right now. Our inventory is really low. And so the houses aren't staying on the market as fast as they have been. And so if you wait to go and look at all the other 20 homes on your list, you might actually lose on the home of your dreams. And so just keep that in mind whenever you are looking at houses, wherever you live. You can ask your realtor kind of what the market is, and see if you have to hurry, or see if you have to quickly move, or if you have time to kind of think on things a little bit more and take your time. So when new listings pop up, we can go and see them. We may have to make appointments for them, but just know that the stage 3 is house hunting. After you find the one, the stage 4 is offer and inspections. So as a realtor, we negotiate for you guys back and forth with the selling agent of what you guys want to offer, what you can afford. We try to negotiate closing costs for the seller to pay for closing costs. We try to negotiate for them to pay for a home warranty, or for this inspection, or whatever the case is, whatever the house is. We help you with that process and negotiation as a third party, neutral party, trying to help you get the best deal. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But the inspections are very important. So after that offer is accepted and everybody's on good terms, we immediately order inspections. So these inspections are super important to do. I just actually terminated an agreement not too long ago for a house that had a pool. We got a home inspection, we got a pool inspection, and this pool had $17,000 worth of repairs that needed to be done on the pool. That's huge. So we already negotiated the price. The appraisal already came back, but the inspection, that pool inspection, ultimately scared my buyers so much that we just walked away from the deal. And so that $350 investment that they did to get that inspection was 100% worth it, because if they had moved into the house and found out that there was $17,000 worth of pool repairs, and that was the main reason that they were buying the house, is for that pool. And they had all these repairs that needed to be done. And so they would have been really, really out of luck if that was the case after they moved in and found all that out. So inspections are key. So there's multiple types of inspections depending on the type of property. There's home inspection, which is 100% negotiable. You don't have to have a home inspection in the state of New Mexico. It is not a requirement. Lenders will, however, require a termite inspection, a septic inspection, a well inspection, especially if you're getting loans on those. If it's cash, then you can do whatever you want. You don't have to have any of those inspections. But I highly encourage, if there's a septic, if there's a well, if there's a pool, get all of those inspections, as well as the termite and the home inspection. Like I said, it costs about $350, and it really depends on the size of the home is what the inspectors base their rates on. But it is so worth it to get that to reveal $17,000 worth of damages. And the last stage is closing. So stage 5 closing. Before the closing, we have to make sure that the house appraises out, and if it does, then we're good to go. The buyer here, at least, I'm pretty sure it's the same everywhere, the buyer knows what the house appraises at because the appraiser is working for the buyer. The seller will never know what their house appraises at because say you're buying a house that's $200,000 and that's what you guys negotiated. The appraisal comes in at $215,000. You just have $15,000 equity into your home. It's super exciting. And the seller finds out that their house is worth $15,000 more. What they, I guess, was happening maybe, it's changed now, and that's why the sellers don't get to see it. But if the house, like the seller was coming back and saying, oh, well, I want to resell my house, I want to negotiate the terms and make it for $215,000, I'm losing out on $15,000. And obviously that's not possible. We've already negotiated the price. So we just made it, or I guess the feds or whoever made it, regulated to where once it appraises out, buyer knows. Me as a realtor, I don't even know what the house appraises at unless my buyer tells me, hey, my house appraised for $215,000. That's fantastic. I have $15,000 equity. This is so exciting. That's when I get to know. But otherwise, it's just the buyer and the lender that know exactly what your house appraises out at. Before closing, all repairs have to be made that were negotiated from that home inspection. So what I didn't talk about on that step 4 during the home inspection process, if there's repairs that need to be made, you could always ask the seller for certain things to be done, and the seller will say either yes or no, and then that's negotiated. So sometimes the contracts go dead and sometimes they continue on because the seller's willing to fix whatever problems are happening. So right before closing, we just make sure that all repairs have been made, all the paperwork is into the bank that the bank is requiring. We make sure that the title company has balanced with the bank, and they are a huge factor in all of this, which I didn't mention, but they do our title commitment, they do the title search, they make sure that there's no liens against the property, they make sure that the survey is accurate and good, and if it's not, then they order a new survey. They do a lot, and the surveys are extremely important as well, just because if you have a fence, your fence is encroaching on somebody else's property, or somebody else's fence is 10 feet onto your property, that's a big deal, and you want to know about that because you may think that you're buying an acre of land, but really somebody has a quarter of your acre with their fence, and you don't know any different. So the survey helps that. So the title company looks out for you on that and makes sure that that is done properly. So all the title company and the lender have to balance. And then I always like to tell my buyers beforehand, make sure that you try to set up utilities ahead of time. Here in Las Cruces, you can set up all the utilities besides the city utility. They require that document at the very end of closing that says, hey, you are the new homeowner, now you're allowed to turn on utilities. But other places could be different. But you could turn on all the other utilities, including the internet and cable if you really need it, especially for parents that may need to play some movies while you're moving in for your kids, to entertain your kids while you're moving in, it may be really helpful. And a lot of the times the cable companies, they take 4 to 5 days to actually get out there to your house. And so I always try to have people set it up a little bit ahead of time for closing days. So if you know you're scheduled today to close, schedule it about a week out and let them know, hey, on this day I'm going to close. And that way they kind of have it all set up. And it makes it a whole lot easier. And just know that the day of closing, depending on the type of loan that you have, you may owe money. And so you may have to bring a check for a certain amount of money, and you will be in talks with a lender the entire time, and they will let you know exactly like, hey, this is a plan. You're putting 5% down. That's when you owe your money. You have to pay the home inspector still. You have to pay the home warranty still. This is the balance that you owe at closing. And so that's when you would actually bring that check into closing. It has to be a cashier's check or money order, depending on your title company, or it could be wired in. Most title companies here, at least, do not accept cash whatsoever. It has to be in the form of check and not personal check. They will not accept personal check. So just make sure that you have a bank or lending institution that you're able to do that. And let me make sure. So there you have it. Those are the 5 stages to prepare yourself during the home buying process. Step 1, find a realtor. Step 2, make sure you get to the lender to get pre-qualified. Step 3, you actually get to go house hunting, the thing that most people want to start off with. Step 4, the offer and inspections. And then step 5, you get to go to closing and go to the closing table, get that key in, and then do the little happy dance. So at the end, at the closing table, you get those keys, and it's all worth it. Having to go to the lender, having to get all those documents, it's completely worth it. Homeownership is one of the most exciting things that you could possibly do, and that is why I love my job so much. It's so exciting to actually get to help people into their next chapter, into the next step of their lives, whether it's going from renting to buying, or buying to upgrading, or downgrading, or whatever the case is. It's pretty exciting to help people out in that journey. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to Modern Life Live. If you have more questions about buying or selling, or the buying process, please let me know. DM me. Let me know what your questions are. If you have any questions about getting financing, just let me know. I am happy to educate you in any way possible. And if you ever want to meet up for coffee and discuss any of this, please DM me or message me below, and we can get that set up. So also, you'll want to tune in for next week, where I talk about one question that every homeowner asks before selling their home. Again, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.